Good morning. This is Simple Stamping and Step It Up. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, aka Nana. And actually today we're going to actually pick up where Nana left off on Friday with Teach Me Nana, and that is the Zoe paper. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how the project we left off was making a purse out of her design that she created on that piece of paper. And we're going to show you how to I'm going to show you how to finish that up today, and then I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to take a card that I've already made and show you how we take it and make it just like Zoe did into a Zoe paper that you could use wherever you want to use it for, if time allows. If not, then we'll pass. But otherwise, that's the goal today, is to finish off what Nana started on Friday and finishing up today, so you can see what the finished little purse would look like and the steps we're doing with it. And then if we have time, then I'll go and reverse the process, and we'll take some of the card and go and size it up and create more to sit there and actually have a Zoe paper. All right, with that, we're going to go down to the hands. And yes, Nana's got the beach look because it's been humid here and raining, and this is what my hair does when there's high humidity. So there you go. Here we go. Let's go down to the hands here. Alright, so when we left off on Friday, this is what we had. And so what we're doing today is we're going to finish up this little purse here. So actually Nana's done a couple of, Nana, I'll switch back and forth between Nana and me, myself and I. So there's a couple of things here. We have to do the side of the purse. So on Friday, when I did this one, Teach Me Nana, I had done one side of the purse. And this is actually a die set. It is the ginger peppermint pillow pocket, the pillow pocket die. So all I did is I've modified it. Actually, it was curved here, and I just sort of cut this off so I'd have a flat edge. And I did it on this one also. And I was sort of messing around with this so I could see, because now we want to put the sides up so we can finish the purse. So what I've done is to show you two different examples. Basically what I did is I took this is actually, I'll just give you the measurements. This is a 2.5 by 2 3/4 piece right here, because I just did it the width of this right here. So when I trimmed this off, because it was curved just like this was, I trimmed it off to square it there so I'd be able to work with it. And that was the measurement. So that's where I got my measurements from. And the height was, I wanted to get it to the top, but not quite all the way over. So if you can see that, doesn't really go over, but it's like right there. So that's what I need to do. And hold on just a second. Let me get this lighting down that's over me a second. That's causing a lot of glare. There we go. Okay, so it's not so bright in my eyes. Alright, so there's two choices, and I'll show you the choice I found up with. So when you do these, I actually scored this on a 1/2 inch at the bottom, because that's where my card's going to connect at, and I wanted to have at least a 1/2 inch to make it a bit more durable. And then on the sides here, this is scored at a 1/4 of an inch, just on each side. And if you want to know how I did that, on my cutting right here, I have one that cuts, the brown cuts, and this one actually is what creates the score line. So it just scores a nice line so that I know where to crease it and fold it. And that's what I've done here. This was already done when you do, when this is a die cut, so when you actually put it through the cut and emboss machine, it already puts this line here. So when I created the sides, I had to do my own there to create score it so that I would have my fold lines, and it just makes it easier to fold and makes it nicer. Alright, so when I did this, so you're going to have to cut a tab at the bottom here so that when you fold and you want to make it like this and square it up, you've got to be able to have it like this. So you're just going to cut. This, I had it two different ways, and I'll show you the difference. So this one, you can see where I had scored the 1/4 of an inch, and I cut it to the 1/2 inch here. And then when I fold it, I'm going to fold the sides and all, that is what it's going to look like. Alright. On this one, I didn't do it that way. Instead, I cut the line here at the 1/2 inch mark on there, and I cut it to the 1/4 inch on both sides. But when I go to fold this one up, I just don't like the look of it as well. And that might be a preference. You might like that look. I didn't. I didn't feel it would work out as well. So I went ahead and just cut me another piece because I like this one better. But you have a choice. I like this one better because it's going to have a neater look when I fold. See how nice and square that is? This is going to be here. But you're going to see in a minute, I'm going to tuck this under. And I've already started it on here to show you. So basically, I took what we have here, and I taped this part back here, just the part that's up to the cut point on the back, under the side. And I'm going to do the same thing with this, because when I go to assemble this completely, I'm going to put these two together and seal them on the bottom, and then this will cover the work that I did here. So that's what we're going to do. And then when I go and do the sides, I'm just going to do them down, and then it's here, and then do the sides here. So that's what we're going to do right now. And it does look a little complicated. It's not really complicated. It's just really sort of working with it. So we already know this. I'm going to go ahead and get this one down. And I actually used on this, because I didn't want to have to worry about everything sticking and everything, I actually used tear tape. This sort of reminds me of carpenter's tape, is where you've got stickiness on both sides. So this is sticky. When I put it on the paper here, I can peel off the paper and be sticky on that side too. So that's what I used to get these little pieces on here, because it's all about maneuvering and getting it down, and for me it's just easier that way. And if you notice, I set up there on the underside that I'm going to hide, I put the tape on the edge, but yet when I flip it over this way, I put the tape right here on the bottom here, and that's just because I want it to really be good on both ends. So right now I'm just going to sit there and take this here, and we're going to take that off, and then we're going to take this down, and then we're going to finish squaring this up. And the other thing about having the paper here is I don't have to worry about if I rolled on the tape with it sticking to everything. So see, if I'd done this one here, I would have been having it stuck all over me one way or the other, and I really wasn't looking for that. Didn't want that, and I'm not going to have that. So yes, all I'm going to do, and when I did this a while ago, when I done this the first time, it was really trying to get this to line up. So I didn't mash it really hard, because I want to make sure I line this up really good, and that's really the more difficult part. Is I've got this fold line here from that I shouldn't say fold line. Well, it is a fold line because that's what I created. So I'm just trying to make sure I really angle up really good there. And then I'm just making sure that I'm going to angle up good. Now see here where I'm talking about, see how that wants to stick to everything, so I'm going to have to gently pull that off. But at least it's just this one piece of paper. It's not like I have every piece. Okay, so I might have to trim that a little bit, and I will. See how that's a little bit longer? And the way I'm going to do it, I'm just going to trim it with some scissors right here. I've got some other scissors coming in that I like better. I like the Stampin' Up scissors better because they're just sharper and work better. But I had let somebody else have them use mine, and I don't have them, so I'm just getting me some more. Alright, so we have this right here, and I have this right here, and I got paper stuck to me. Okay, that's okay. So what we're going to do now, sorry about that interruption. I don't control the doorbell, and I do not control the dog, that is for sure. Alright, so I've already got my tape down here on the bottom, so all I'm going to do is do one side at a time. I'm not going to rush it, because the key thing is I'm going to surprise Zoe, maybe. Because Zoe, I'm not sure if I'll get away with surprising her or not. Maybe I will, won't. But all I'm doing is just matching up down here at the bottom. And I'm doing it like here. So if you sew or anything, it's sort of like matching up the seams. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. And therefore, then, my bottom of the purse will be finished. And I already know I have Princess number 2. Wants Nana to make her one. She's already seen it because I was showing her what I was doing for Zoe. Because she called and wanted to play, and I told her I had to finish this before Zoe came. So here's the bottom. So that's all we've done is we've taken the two and connected them. Now I'm just going to do one at a time, and I'm going to get this anchored on the bottom. It's just a process, so you have to think about what is easiest for you. For me, it's easiest to do this and get this tucked down and then do one side at a time. And that's what I'm going to do. If I can get the paper off. If I can't get this little paper off that I put on here, then Nana will most probably use some glue. And that'll be a problem because I do not have that glue's put away so people can't get into it. Get stickiness everywhere. Let's see, oh, there you go. I did it in one big strip. Okay, so we're doing the one side, like I said. All I'm doing is making sure I square up right. This is all just about taking your time and doing it right. And then I'm going to do it there. Alright, so see how my purse is shaping up? Not my purse, it's going to be Zoe's. And then I'll most probably put something in it. I'll surprise her with something in it. I don't know yet. I haven't decided if it's going to be chocolate. I don't know if it's going to be gift card. Yeah, it might have some bling or something in it that she likes or wants. I don't know. Nana always finds something to put in those things. But look at here. See how cute this is? Do I think Zoe will like this? Absolutely, because I took her Zoe paper and I made it into this. So I've taken her artwork that she created, and all I'm going to show it to her is how her beautiful creation that she isn't sure that what she's going to do with it yet, that I can go make things from it for her. So I might not be able to create like her and go and grab a bunch of stamps and all, but I can surely take what she's written down, because she left me all the information, even for herself, so she can recreate. And that's all I'm going to do. See if I can get my hand in here. So this is probably going to be the most difficult part, is depending on the size of your hands. Like I said, I just lightly do it because that way I don't put myself in a real bind. Now, the only thing, looky there, see here? Now, the only thing that Nana's missing on this little purse, see what a nice little purse it is? You can put candy in there, you can put a lot of stuff in there. But, so the only thing Nana's missing here that I'm going to add to it, and I'm not going to finish this today because I wasn't planning on doing it because it takes a little bit more time. I am going to actually put some pearls on here, and I'm actually going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to put it right there, and I might even do it on some leaves, I don't know. But for sure, I'm going to put pearls here and some Wink of Stella. So you will just have to look forward to seeing my finished project with everything on it online. I will post a picture. Because now what Nana wants to do is I want to switch over, since we still have time, I want to switch over now and tell you we're going to do the opposite. So we took Zoe's paper. She signed it, Zoe's paper. Shredder here. So from this, well, just refreshing. So from this, Nana created a purse. Nana created a t-shirt. I'm not sure what the t-shirt is. It was handy. Oh, here it is. Here's the t-shirt. So we got the purse. We have the t-shirt here. And I did create cards from her design. So it's not my design. It's not my creation. It's all Zoe's. And it all started from here. And I ended up making all of this. And is there more that I can make? Absolutely, because remember we talked about a scrapbook page. And I didn't add the scrapbook page yet, but see, we can have a lovely scrapbook page. And it could be green background, it could be this color. It'll be up to Zoe, because it's Zoe's paper. But there's just many options and things that you can do. And I think that's the point that Nana wants you to know, is that, you know what, you may think you're not creative, but I want to be sure to try to inspire you that you can. You can do like Zoe does. Just go through, pick all the stamps you like, and she just combined different stamp sets for the things that she liked. Alright, so now I'm going to do the reverse process. So I showed you how I took the artwork that she created and I did things besides the card. Here, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to take a card and I'm going to make it into like a Zoe paper. Alright, so all I'm going to do here is, so here's my card. See if I can get both of those on there for you better. So here's my card. Still can't. I mean, I like dandelions. Dandelions are very special because you can eat them. People think it's crazy to eat them, but it's like one of the third best greens you can eat from vitamin sources and all. And I love them. I had a God thing experience with them where I came home from some very sad things to a garden of dandelions all over in my garden bed, about 2 feet tall. And I have to tell you, that's a God thing, because I didn't plant them. They did them on their own. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to expand it. So when I created this, I just took this here, this one flower from the Garden Wishes, but I'm going to start it off with this here where the dandelion begins. Because you know when a dandelion grows, you have the yellow flowers. And throughout the day, then it turns into what Sophia calls a wish flower. I just always call them a puffball. But anyway, it's a wish flower that you blow on and get your wishes. So I'm just going to do that. I can. And I'm going to still have that same effect. I'm still going to have that same wispy look to it and all that. But I'm going to start on one side here with the actual dandelion in its original form. And let's see if I have a block that big here. I do. Okay. And then we'll sit there and plug in this heating tool. And I actually have somebody watching me in the background here, so I'm going to see if that person will be kind enough to plug in my heating tool for me so that when we're ready for it, we're going to do it. So we're going to actually stamp this with Versamark. And the thing with Versamark is when you stamp with the Versamark, it allows me to put embossing powder over it and heat it up. And I'm looking for a piece of paper that I can put under this when I go to do this, because I got to be able to dust the powder off. All right, we'll see if I can do that. I don't think that's going to work, but we'll see. We're going to work through this. I'm not worried about it. All right, so just like you ink up really well with regular ink, I want to make sure to do the same thing with Versamark. Okay, and you see it's all wet. Hopefully you can see it's all wet there, and that lets me know my Versamark's on there good. And I'm actually going to, I don't have to put the whole thing, I'm going to do it off, stepped off a little bit. I do want my flowers there in the greenery, but I don't have to have it all in there. And I'm actually going to do this in phases because this is a large stamp. And if you can look at it right here, you can see where it's served dark. That's where the Versamark is at. And then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to sprinkle the white powder over it, and I'm going to clean my stamp too. So I'm just going to sprinkle the white powder over it. And I may go ahead and heat emboss it while right now before I put the other on. So I don't want to accidentally mess it up, because the Versamark, or doing this like this with the embossing powder, if you rake your finger across it or anything bumps it or anything, it messes it up. So truly it is easier for me if I would just I just clean this like I do my regular stamps. It's just easier to go ahead and get this heated up and get the shape there, and then I'll go and do the rest, and that way I don't have to worry about accidentally messing it up, because I have done that before and that's not fun, because I just get to go do it all over again. Now see, so you can see the shape. You can see it's got the detail there too. So when I heat that up, you're going to see how that's going to change. And we're going to get the white raised look. And I'm going to go ahead while we're right here at it before I make a big mess. I really like, when I'm working with this stuff, I really work hard not to mess up what I just did. But I also really work hard at getting this powder up, because number one, the only powder I have. Oops, I don't want red in it though, or pink. That's right, pink. And I'm going to just go ahead and put my powder away. You see I just got a little bit on my table, but that's okay. I'll clean it up later. But that's the main thing. Oh, yeah, I almost messed that up. Alright, somebody's looking out for me today. I'm telling you, I almost messed up my dandelions. So, alright, so I'm going to heat this up and we're going to watch it transform. Looking, let's see what I did the other day, so I'll put my hand down here. This is a larger piece of paper than what I was doing the other day, but that way I don't have to worry about my hand holding onto it right there. But I'm just going to heat this up. And you'll know when it changes, because we'll see the paper change. I'm not worried about this, because I can always get this lay flat. The main thing is I just want to get that white to heat up and start changing. And it'll be like the puff ball. 1 minute it's one way, and the next minute it is like moving along. There you go. See it changing? That is what's so cool about it. You just want to make sure it all changes, because if it doesn't, and it doesn't puff up like it should, and it's not done, and you want to make sure it's done. How cool is that? That is so cool. I enjoy doing this. It's just, for me, fascinating. The air's warm, but anyway, I'm just going to make sure I got it all right there. I want everything that's supposed to rise up to give it that nice texture that we're looking for. Sometimes I just come around just to make sure, because if you don't have it all raised up and it's still in its powder form, you can still rake your finger across it and it will come off. And then you'll have a gap in your artwork there. I think it looks like it's all done. See how pretty that is? Okay, so we're not done yet though, because we're creating a paper like a Zoe paper. So I'm taking my card and I'm clearing it all out. Let's see, there's the beginning. Alright, now we're going to add the wish flower part, which is the next phase that happens to our dandelions, where we get our wishing flower, as Sophia tells Nana, because we have to make a wish. And I think that's a good name. Her mommy or somebody's got her doing that. Alright, so I am just going to get ready to put this little flower right here. And then, let's see here. So let's see what the card looks like. Okay, it's got this right here. Now the words it has in here that I really like, it says wishing you all the best. So I'm actually going to put wishing you all the best. I think just wishing. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to most probably put it somewhere down in here. So let's see where we're going to put this puff ball. Because I want to go now to the puff ball, and where the puff ball and the stuff is like the other. So, you know, and dandelions are all together. I've actually happened to do it like this. If you've never watched a dandelion or watched nature, it's always fascinating. Because it's like you got all your little pollinators that come out first thing in the morning. And they're out there busy doing their thing with the yellow flowers from the dandelions. And as the day progresses, you'll get your pollinators, and you'll get your little bumblebees, and then you'll get your flower changing and all. So I'm just going to put this to the side. Alright, and I'm going to put white powder on it as well. And I'm going to do this one, and then we'll do the little seeds that come off the wish flower. Still the dandelion. You can still eat the dandelion greens. I eat the dandelion greens. I've eaten the flowers in my salad, but the dandelion greens, I actually I saute them just like I would kale, and I put them in a salad just like I would kale. In fact, if you ever looked at the supermarket and you look at your spring greens and so forth, I don't think they'll ever tell you that's dandelions. But man, you can take those leaves that's in there. And see, I can touch this and it doesn't mess it up. Because it's, it's already cured and everything and transformed. Okay, so I'm ready to do this one. So I'm going to dust this off. Now, could I turn around and make this into a shirt just like I did with Zoe's? I sure can. Am I? I don't know. I'm not going to do that today. And I don't know if I'll do it in the future or not. But, whereas Zoe's not sure yet what she's going to do with hers, I can tell you mine is going to be a scrapbook page. Because dandelions are very special to me. Happened at a very special time in my life, and it was such a blessing. When something like that, I call it a God thing, happens, I sit there and I go and research it, and that's when I found out that it was like one of the top greens. Papa Bear says, oh, that's just a weed. I said, well, it made it in the Women's Health magazine as one of the top 3 best greens you can eat. So I call it a God thing when you come home and you have a full garden of 2 feet high dandelions growing. And you know what? We even made dandelion wine. Yep, and it actually tasted pretty good. Tasted almost like a mead. But you can also eat the roots. Not eat them. You can roast them and make a tea with them. Sort of like a coffee flavor. I couldn't tell you if it's like a coffee flavor or not. I don't drink coffee, but it's not bad. And dandelions are also a natural diuretic, so there's a lot of good things with dandelions. Okay, so there's that there. All right, so all that's left for me to put on here then. Sounds like a hair dryer, but it's not a hair dryer. It's a heating tool special for this. Alright, so the only other thing left for me to put on here that I'm going to put on here is the words wishing. Ooh, you know what? I think I'll also put a bee. You know what? Because if it wasn't for that bee pollinating and all, we would not have the things we have. Those bees make it happen. So you know what? Let me get this little bee on here because it's a cute bee. I personally am allergic to bees, especially if I get a bee sting. But we're going to put the little bee up here and put the bee up here behind the dandelions because that's where they go. That's where they do their job and pollinate. And then from there, the bee goes and does what the bee does. Alright, so I'm actually going to put the powder on there. And you know what? I'm not going to worry about touching that accidentally because I'm actually going to be focusing over here. But I am going to clean the stamp so I can do the little seeds from the dandelion. And then we'll do the word wishing and I think we'll call it a day. Alright, let's see here. Let's get this cleaned off too. Alright, let's get our little, let's see here. Where are they? Let's see here. Here it is right here. Okay, we're just going to take this off and you just have to sort of grab around the edge there because you want to be careful. And then we're just going to take this here. Alright, and this, when you see it, it's just the little seeds as they come off when we blow them or the wind blows them. And I'm just going to have these blowing across the page. And let's see, I'm going to start them off this way. But you know, as the wind blows, they get tossed and turned and tossed and turned. You know, they just keep on going until you don't see them anymore. So that's how I'm going to stamp it. Alright, now when I go put this on here, you'll be able to see, once I tap it off, how it looks. I'm just going to sprinkle this on every one I did it. I have plenty of powder left, and I'll just pour it back into this as I get through with it and clean off my stamp again. Because you do need to clean it off because you'll see the shiny stuff in there if you don't get it off good. So it's just got some shiny stuff on it too. So yeah, once you got all this shiny stuff off, you know you got it off. Alright, so we now know we are through the white. And I just see how I tapped that off, and looky there. They're just kind of floating in the air. Now this looks like the B. I might have stamped it a little bit extra there. So I'm just going to gently with my nail do like that. And it'll come off. Problem is when stuff comes off and you're not wanting it to come off. Okay, so I did that. Alright, so there we go. So I am ready to clean up my white powder. Put my Versa mark to the side. And I'm just going to put this up, get out of the way, and then we're just going to use our heating tool. So yeah, just do it like this, make it like a funnel. I'm sure you've done it before with something. Use that, yeah. It's just the way to do it. Make a funnel out of the paper. Alright, this is our last time to use the heating tool. And we're still doing good on time. Alright. Nana usually tries, or I try to sit there and keep this to around 50 minutes or less. Unless you have questions and all, then I'm always happy to answer the questions. And like the last week, people had questions, and we turn around and I answer the questions and show them how to do it. And I love that. I love showing you things that you want to know and learn. But whereas Teach Me Nana, on Fridays, Nana tries to keep that to around 30 minutes, if I can. You know, if there's questions and I answer them and all, that's fine too. But otherwise, I just try to do 30 minutes. Look at how nice that is in turning. I always think this is amazing. That's all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to each one of these and do this. You just get that whole wispiness. Now Zoe most likely could take a pen and do all this. I can't. I could do the dots. But I can't do all the other stuff. I might. I'd have to really practice at it. Zoe does it so naturally. And Sophia does things naturally too. But you know what? That's what makes us all creative so fun. We each do things differently and we learn from one another. And we accept the things we can do and accept the things we can't do. Enjoy each other's artwork and creativity. Alright, so there you go. You know, that's about how it looks like. If you ever watched your wish flowers, whether you blow on them or nature does it naturally through the wind, you'll see that whole wispy effect. So the only last thing I'm going to put on this, and I'm going to do the word wishing. Now this will be a little tricky. Not much, but just a little. I can do it one of two ways. When I go put this on the stamp, you're going to see. It says, wishing you all the best. Well, I plan on, unlike Zoe, I already know what I'm going to do with this. I could do a scrapbook just on dandelions. And I might. You never can tell. It's not a today project, but it's definitely something. I just want the word wishing. Okay? I might later on come up with something else, but right now, that is all I want are the words wishing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that piece of note, sticky paper I just had a minute ago. So I put it where I hit it. And I'm actually going to cover up the remainder of those words. And if I can't find the sticky note, then I'm going to work on trying to improvise it anyway. Alright, so I'm still going to have to ink it up. I'm going to ink it up, and then I'm going to cover the spot that I don't want. Or, there's another way. You know what? I could go ahead and stamp it, put the powder on it, and I could actually scrape the powder off. So we'll see. We'll do whatever works best. I'll try covering this up first. And all I'm going to do is take this piece of paper. I really like a smaller piece of paper. This is my notes where I scored and all. Alright, let me just see if I can do it with this one. Because all I'm really trying to do is just cover up that part right there, because I want wishing. Now if I can do it, fine. If I can't, then okay. Well, let's see. It looks like it took the ink off for me. Alright, we'll know in a minute. And I'm just going to put wishing. Hopefully that's all I get. Ooh, yeah. Looks like I might have got a little bit more, but that's okay. I can deal with that. I can scrape it off with my fingernail. I'm just like the word wishing. It's going to always remind me of Sophia. Her wishing flowers. I never called them wishing flowers until Sophia told me it was a wishing flower. And then Nana learned something new. I learned about a wishing flower. Just as a puffball flower. So there you go. Alright, so here we go. Same thing, same step. Okay, so see, the words did come out. So I'm going to take my fingernail then and scrape that off. Let me get this white powder out of the way. Just like anything else in life, you spend more time prepping than you do anything else, but that's okay. In the end, it's like a recipe or anything else that you do. It might take the prepping work, but it's beautiful and delightful and inspiring when you get through. Otherwise, wouldn't create. All right, so actually, I am going to I'm just going to take my nail. I'm just going to lightly scrape that off. I did have a tool that I used to put on bling and gems and stuff, and actually if I had that, because that's a flat side, actually I could have used that. That would have worked just as well. And I'm just gonna, you know what, if some of it's still there and heats up, you know what, it's okay. It's an opportunity for creativity. Might not finish that today, that creativity, but the main thing is I just want to get this done so I can show you. So all I've done, oh, there goes the light. There you go. So all I've done then is I took a card that I liked, that I actually created for a friend, and basically said, you know what, I really want my own Judy paper, like there's a Zoe paper. And I'm going to use mine to create a scrapbook page of dandelions. All of them, most likely all the things I've done with dandelions. Everything from eating, sauteing, tea, into wine. There's most likely more. Most likely to make a t-shirt. Get people to look at the benefits of dandelions instead of looking at them as just a weed. Alright, so there we go. See how it's raised up? And it's done. And that's just how that font that does. So there you go. So we have taken the Zoe paper and we've created things from it, and then we took a card and we turned around and made a Zoe paper. Alright? Or a Nana paper in this case, or a dandelion paper, whatever you want to call it. But there you go. Now I have my own scrapbook page. It looks very beachy too. I feel like I've been on the beach today with my hair. Alright, so there you go. That is it for this week. Actually, this is a little bit shorter than normal, but that's okay. We can go back so you can see Nana. So, that is the end of it this week for Adventurous Stamping with Nana. This is part 2 of going beyond the card, or beyond the card, that was started with Teach Me Nana on Friday, and we finished it up today on Adventurous Stamping with Simple Stepping, or Stepping It Up. So next week we're actually going to do the Wise Men, and we're actually going to make cards for them, and we'll start it simple and we'll step it up and show you what you can do with the stamp set with the Wise Men, and it also has a die cut as well too. So we'll show you all about that next Wednesday. So have a blessed and adventurous week, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Just be sure to say hi and be sure to like and share. I'd appreciate that, and Zoe would appreciate that too. Alright, until next week, be safe, be adventurous, and have fun. Bye.